Hey guys, Sam here, and this week marks a special birthday for one of the most influential video game consoles of all time. On September 29th, 1996, the Nintendo 64 was released in the USA, paving the way for the future of video games and how the industry works. So, let's take a look at this overlooked, lovely machine. The Nintendo 64 was released in Japan and America in 1996, with a release in Europe and Australia in 1997. Back in the 90s, Nintendo was at the top of their game with its successful NES, Super NES and Game Boy consoles with their splendid library of software. And the gaming industry was going through a revolution, with 3D graphics being all the rage and replacing pixels with lush, hyper-realistic polygons. Well, realistic for the time anyways. Many companies responded to the change with brand new consoles like the Commodore Amiga CD32, the Sony PlayStation, and add-ons like the Sega CD and 32X. However, the Big N held back and waited until '96 to drop their 3D Menace in collaboration with Silicon Graphics, who were famous for their work on computer-generated visuals in films such as Jurassic Park and Twister. Codenamed Project Reality and the Ultra 64, the N64 aesthetically looks simple with its on and off switch, reset button, and 4 controller ports built right into the system. A novelty idea back then without the need for any multi-taps and 4-score adapters to have 4-player fun. Underneath the system is an expansion port that was used for the ill-fated disk drive add-on, and on the front is a cartridge slot and a memory expansion port that you can use to insert an expansion pack to double the system's RAM from 4MB to a whopping 8MB, allowing for better visuals and more expansive environments in supported games. Next up is the controller, which at first looks utterly absurd with 3 prongs protruding out like some kind of bizarre spaceship, but at the same time is charming with its colourful buttons and groundbreaking with an implemented analog stick, a feature that wasn't included with the N64's main rivals of the PlayStation and Sega Saturn at the time. Furthermore, the controller can be played in 3 different ways, has a Z button for actions such as targeting enemies, and the slots for inserting accessories such as a controller pack for saving games, a rumble pack for force feedback in games such as Star Fox 64, and a transfer pack that allows you to convert data from Game Boy titles such as play Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow on Pokemon Stadium. Nonetheless, it's not the hardware that makes a console great, but it's the software instead, and nowhere was that more evident than with the N64 with its awesome, versatile library of games. Whether it's exploring the open worlds of Super Mario 64 or The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, the adventures of Banjo-Kazooie or Glover, the countless brawls in the original Super Smash Bros, and the non-stop multiplayer fun in titles like Mario Kart 64, GoldenEye 007 and Mario Party, the system was abuzz with fantastic titles that anybody could pick up and play. Overall, the console went on to sell 32.93 million units worldwide, which may sound like a lot at first, but stumbles far behind its main rival, the PS1, with 102 million units sold during its lifespan. Many people will be quick to argue that the N64 failed because of its use of expensive cartridges in contrast to cheaper CD-ROMs used by its competitors, as well as boast more space. However, despite this, the system has gained a loyal fanbase of gamers who love the console for what it is. An ambitious, forward-thinking console with tons of personality, a fun character to boast, and changed the video gaming industry for the better. That's all for this episode of S.T.E.G, and until next time, cheerio!